Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barcast TV. It is currently April 20th, 2023, and this is another episode of Barcast Daily. Today we have a great 4v4 match between several high-level players, so let's go ahead and get into the replay. Spawning in the bottom left corner of the map, we have Team 1, composed of Mighty Sheep playing as the green pieces, Jazz Cash as the blue Armada commander, Waffle as the teal Cortex commander, and Shocks as the purple Cortex commander. So, great players, Team 1. Team 2, spawning in the top right side of the map, we have Ragna playing as the yellow pieces, LSR, Malady, and Captain Jack Sparrow playing as the red Armada commander. So, great players all around. I'm sure y'all are familiar with some of these players. Sitting way up on the leaderboards here, we see quite high skill level, quite high true skill, so this should be a pretty great match. While they go ahead and get underway with their opening build orders, we can talk about the map. This is Theta Crystals. Some of you may know this from a 1v1 context, and it's a pretty solid 1v1 map. There's a lot of interesting topography here, some mexes on top of high plateaus, crystals surrounding the bases that you can use for some energy reclaim. Get that into your early economy. And there's this central little lake here that prevents movements from non-amphibious units. So really two ways to get across this map on the top and bottom side here, and that should be where a lot of the conflicts end up happening. So we'll take a look and see what's going on here. I already see some shenanigans. Looks like Waffle shared an air transport with Mighty Sheep and has opened aircraft first. So pretty cool to see. Shock's gone with the bot lab. Mighty Sheep's gone for the bot lab, and same for Jazzcast. So all of Team 1 going for bots, save for Waffle, who's providing some air support for his teammates. We have a little bit of early raiding here coming from Captain Jack. That's going to get dealt with pretty quickly. One scout that was able to sneak on through. You can take a look at Team 2 here on the top right side of the map. So we have a bot lab for LSR. Ragna's gone for a bot lab as well, and it looks like Captain Jack's gone for a vehicle plant. And so far, Malady is yet to produce a factory. No, I think he made that land factory and reclaimed it already. So I have a suspicion he's going to be going for air here in this game. And what is going on, Jashcash? We have another air transport moving Jashcash's commander to the center part of the map here. He's going to be capping this mex and securing this location, I'm sure. And Mighty Sheep's doing the same, so we have these really quick commander movements here. Try to get to the center board and lock up these locations from the other team. So we have Ragna moving towards this high ground as well. And he's going to walk into Mighty Sheep's commander, who's already on the high ground here, so he should be putting up a turret. Should be getting up a radar here shortly. Yeah, and that's just what he's doing. Ragna noticing the air vehicle, so he's putting up a anti-air turret. Meanwhile, his opponent's putting up an LLT, so definitely cool to see the secondary damage you're able to get with these air factories, forcing your opponents to make all this anti-air. Waffle's gone ahead and reclaimed his air factory. He's produced a bot lab here, so just wanted to get out a couple transports for his teammates. And I'm going to do my best to keep track of all this action here. We see Ragna's moving up to this high ground here. Does he want to get a D-gun off? Not sure why Mighty Sheep stepping back. I mean, he's had two LOTs there on the high ground. Wondering if you felt a little conscious that LSR has got a lot of units here. Same for Ragna. So I think he felt a little outgunned here on that high ground. It just takes a step back. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Jashcash. He's got this great forward radar. He's already capped this mex. He's got a couple of LOTs here. So it looks like Team 1 is gone ahead and sprung out to the middle of the map here on the right side. So taking control. Looks like Team 2 is really focusing on this top side hill here. Got a lot of grunts from LSR and Ragna running towards this commander of Shocks here. Let's see if he's able to get out in time. He's going to get picked up by this air transport, sensing the danger he's in. And I think he could have stayed there just a tad longer and continued to out on LOTs, but don't want to risk it. He may just be moving around the map a little more quickly there. So Mighty Sheep's gone ahead and built this nice forward radar. He's got a great view here, and yeah, Malady went for the air transport, so he's moving his commander around. He's capping these high ground plateaus, adding on anti-air turrets, and I'm sure he'll be going into shurikens. Yeah, we already see some on the board here, so 2 so far. He's continuing to make those, and I'm sure he'll be using those quite shortly here, looking for an opening. We have Ragnar adding on a wall of LLTs on this high ground, so he's really choking up the map here, preventing the enemy team from moving up to this high ground here. And that's going to let him give access to this low ground. He can start raiding this on either side, and we see small raid forming on the right side. He's trying to run by, trying to get past the defenses. This radar definitely catches the movement here. LSR make me... So Malady's calling for a construction bot. Looks like he reclaimed his bot flab factory, so all he has out is just his commander's build power. And I think that could be stalling him a little bit. See, we have Waffles able to deal with this run by here. He's got his own shurikens out on the board here, so he's able to paralyze this run by and deal with it without losing too much damage. And has already moved into Aggravator, so he's going to be moving that up to Waffles' position here on the right side. Try and contest this this pressure from Captain Jack Sparrow, who has got a lot of Aggravators out. Excuse me, blitzes out and some artillery. So he's going to be shelling this in an entrenched position here. They have another construction bot moving up to this plateau from Malady, so he's doing work capping these mexes here. We see the team income here in the top right corner of the screen. You can take a look at how both teams are faring, and we can see Team 2 is up by about 400 mass here so far into the game, so not the biggest deficit here. And Ragnar's got this great... I didn't even know you could build a vehicle plant right here, so he found a way. He's got this nice forward factory here. He's going to be producing these artillery to start shelling his opponent's entrenched position here. A lot of action here on the right side. Looks like Captain Jack's trying to push Team 1 off of this little choke point here. Jash Cash has some run bys, but that's going to trigger these shurikens to show up and shut that down. So great job using these shurikens to shut down any kind of run bys. Captain Jack trying to add on additional LLTs. Those are going to get dealt with by the aggravators here. But these artillery are doing work here. They're putting pressure on this. Putting pressure on from afar here kind of forces engagements. You can't just sit there and take these pot shots for free. Take a look at the left side for now. Ragnar's got a lot of grunts here sitting on top of the high ground. He's got a couple construction bots continuing to add on LLTs and has gone up to about, what is that, 2 artillery. He's starting to produce some Janus here. You really notice he likes these Janus. They're a great unit. They shoot these slow firing missiles that do a lot of AoE damage. So it's like Malady's going for T2 here. He senses the game is slowing down a little bit, so that's going to give him an opportunity to attack. And it's like Captain Jack is making a play for this right side here. He's pushing through. He's got a lot of medium tanks out. He's got several artillery. He's pushing his opponents back. So Team 1 really needs to reinforce this right side before losing any more ground here. See some aggravators from Righty Sheep trying to fire up this high ground here. But he's going to be running into Janus fire. These Janus do combo really well with these light artillery. Looks like Shocks is trying to take one out. So close. Takes one out. So great job shaving off some of these units. And we starting to see these shurikens moving across the map here. So not sure what damage they're trying to get done. They don't really do any kind of... They don't really do any damage. They just paralyze units so they can paralyze the eco. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. Oh, I see. So I didn't notice, but Jash Cash detonated his commander, and Malady is using this to block this construction bot from reclaiming that record. So that's a great use, denying that eco back into the economy. So you can see the commander count up here in the top middle portion of the screen. So far it's 3 to 4. And it looks like Team 2 has got control of the board here. Ragnar's taking control of this high ground. Captain Jack pushing forward on this right side of the map. Have a big engagement here. Tanks versus tanks, and there's just some grunts coming and flanking, and they're going to deal with these missile trunks and artillery. You can get behind enemy lines here. Let's see if a D-gun goes off. Captain Jack stepping forward. This is a lot of pressure here, though. And that gets dealt with nicely. Nice kiting there. So, doesn't lose the artillery. Loses a lot of his tanks, though, but leave some wreckage on the right side. Meanwhile, on the left side here, we have so many Rocketeers using their range superiority to take out these Janus and medium tanks and put pressure on this position. That's going to force Lightning Claw, a Dragon's Claw turret here. And I'm really surprised we don't see any more vehicles coming into play. I'd love to see these Grave Robbers. They're standing up here, getting their repairs off, doing their best to reclaim. Let's go ahead and take a look at the main bases. See Waffles trying to deal with this harassment from Malady. He's got a couple of bombers out. He's taking out these wind turbines here. Looks like Shock's finally moving into T2. He's trying to get this advanced bot lab out. And the same for Mighty Sheep, and this might end up costing him, but 2 players are trying to tech at the same time. It really is a little bit redundant here. And we see Jash Cash is sitting on 2 factory production here. He's got his bot lab and his vehicle plant out. So we can look at Team 2's Malady still sitting on this aircraft plant. He's got a lot of wind turbines out. See T2 already for LSR. He's on this advanced bot lab out. He's going to be upgrading his mexes here. Ragnar's got his production up on the high ground on the left side, and we see that Captain Jack is still on this 1 factory production. So he's making great use of these vehicles on this map, pressing forward, using this artillery. They've done so much work here. Got 6 kills on one, 2 kills on the other, 8 kills on another. So great job, so much value. And looks like Ragnar's lost this high ground, so Mighty Sheep and Shocks were able to push him off this high ground here. They're taking out these LOTs, leaving a lot of reclaim here. Take a look. Yeah, about 1,500 reclaim right there, but already have some T2 units moving their way onto the field. So we have the first Shelton showing up. It's gonna let them maybe push back onto that high ground here. And you have this constant battle on the right side, vehicles versus bots and vehicles. But they're down 1 commander here, so that's gonna let Captain Jack put up these LOTs and really get entrenched into this position here. That 1 cheeky Lazarus trying to suck up this reclaim on the front line here. It's gonna be taken out by the by those missile trucks. And LSR is finally stepping forward with his commander, so I'm wondering if that extra pressure is gonna finally push this advantage even farther for Captain Jack. He's got a lot of tanks here. Still have these shurikens in the back waiting for their opportunity to strike, and Shocks and Mighty Sheep have taken control of this high ground on the left hand side, so really trying to reinforcement. We have a lot of Thistle turrets showing up, so Shocks anticipating some kind of shuriken attack. But no, they're moving to the right side here, so trying to catch this run by. This is such a great utility vehicle here. Anytime your opponents can get a run by through, you just show up with the shurikens and stop them from attacking. This would be a great bombing target right here on the plateau. We see Waffle was able to get some thugs a little far forward, but he's pulling back. Wonder if he was trying to flank this army here. And we have some Tech 2 units showing up on the field, so Sheltons and Fiends making their way onto the board for team 1 here. And Ragnar's just continuing to add on LOTs at the base of this hill here, so he wants to stop his opponents from running by. We see Mighty Sheep's commander stepping so far forward. Takes out an anti-air turret, moving back up onto the high ground. And really, is that a Hercules? No. So we'll take a look at Malady's main base. Has he moved on to Tech 2 yet? No, he's just continuing to add on shurikens and air transports. Currently making a scout. Take a look at where the action is. We have a lot of Fiends forming up on this right side here. So LSR continuing to produce these Fiends. I'm sure that's going to trigger them to make an attack at some point. And I believe he gave this 1 Shelton to Ragnar here. So Ragnar's sitting on no production right now. I think he's just floating all his eco to his teammates right now. Just using his commander to add on LOTs. And looks like LSR actually gave those T2 units to Ragnar. But meanwhile, we have a push here on the bottom right side of the map. Captain Jack stepping forward with so many tanks, forcing his opponents to kite back, and could clamp back down on the flank it with this right side. But that's going to trigger these shurikens to show up. Anytime they see their opponents breaking through on some front, they threaten the attack. We have a lot of tanks cleared up here, and there's a lot of reclaim in this field right here. Let's take a look. It's about 2,000 reclaim in this area alone, and that's going to give these Lazarus some work to do, but they're busy resurrecting these units. You got a huge run by here on the right side. Can these thugs deal with these tanks? They're stepping into these stepping into this area with metal extractors. Radar goes down. They're going to take out some of these anti-air turrets. Where are those Shurikens? Have they shown up yet? No, we got taken out one scout. And these tanks are moving towards the main base of Mighty Sheep, so can they get some damage done? Meanwhile, the Shurikens keep on posturing like they're going to do some damage. Another radar goes down. You see some fiends show up, finally start taking out these tanks. How well are they going to do? I think you could have actually control-D'd these units and taken out all those tanks, but two fiends is not enough to take down all these stout medium tanks, so this is a lot of damage that's going to be coming in, taking out construction turrets, taking out build power, taking out eco. Meanwhile, we have this battle on the right side. Captain Jack's commander is a little isolated here, and he's standing down in front of a lot of thugs and medium tanks, so is that going to let Team 1 move forward? You have a lot of anti-air bots behind the line here, so that's going to protect them against these Shurikens. And still these medium tanks are getting damage done. They're moving into Shox's main base here. You have two blitzes take out so much eco right there. All those metal converters end up going down. Meanwhile, I see a battle forming up here on the top side of the map. We have a lot of T2 units creating an arc, but so far we have these Sheltons out for a shock, so he's able to shell this position of Ragnar from afar from this high ground here. That's gonna force him to move back and posture for an attack, but it's not gonna, can't push up that high ground against superior tech and two commanders. So looks like this left side is a little weak for Team 2, but on this bottom side, Captain Jack is doing a lot of work. There's such a huge reclaim field here. 5,000 mass in this area alone, so for those of you who don't know, those medium tanks are about 225 mass apiece. It's like the game kind of quieted down. There's no fighting on either side. Finally, hear a tank shot go off, and looks like there might be some spam coming out from LSR. So he's moved on to double bot lab production. He salvaged his T2 factory. He's got a fusion reactor out, and he's got all his mechs upgraded, and is starting to spam these grunts here. So I think he's going to be pushing on the right side. He's going to try and overwhelm his opponents with some superior numbers here. So Captain Jack's gone ahead and made so many LLTs in this area, and really threatening the position with his commander. He's just using it to reclaim units for now. It's a great use of that. He's got another construction vehicle here, just using it to grab all this reclaim here. And we see another tank push forming on this bottom side of the map. So has he gotten through with this concentration of units? No, he's just pulling back, kind of pressuring the situation. See these Shurikens moving towards the top side of the map, and a lot of ticks are breaking through here. Oh, excuse me, scouts from LSR, so he wants to get some raiding done. And it looks like Team 1 is pressing down the hill on this right side here, but that's going to let Ragnar use these fiends to his advantage here. And these Shurikens are finally making their way into the battlefield here. Not where you want to be, stepping into so many thistles, and he rightly retreats relatively quickly, so great job not losing those units. See Mighty Sheep's adding on some Dragon's Teeth, anticipating some kind of attack here. It's like Team 2 is starting to break through here. These grunts are making the difference. They're pressing forward. In conjunction with the tanks, they're taking even more ground away from Team 1. So anticipating this side is going to fall relatively quickly. There's a lot of tanks here on the bottom side of the map, and there's just thugs left over. So where did the tanks of Waffle go, or Jazz Cash go? I'm not sure. He's got so few tanks left on the field, and here's another push from both players. So LSR and Captain Jack stepping forward, taking out the army of Waffle here, and this could spell doom for Team 1. All these units are going to start getting into the main bases of Mighty Sheep and Waffle while they're trying to make something happen on this topside lane, and they're doing a decent job at it. All this spam from LSR is having to stay up here and reinforce this position, but these Sheltons are really where the advantage is at. They have such a good range advantage over all these T1 units and even the Fiends, so stepping back, trying to get back onto the high ground. You have so many grunts moving forward against these Sheltons, trying to fan out, trying to get their damage done. He's stepping into a lot of defense here. These Fiends make short work of those grunts. See another battle here on the stop side. Looks like that bottom right side is finally fallen. Waffle's main base goes down, and that's gonna be it. Team 1 taps out. GG. Wow, what a game. Thanks for watching all. I'll see you in the next replay.